What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM, coming to you live with a headache at 8:39 in the morning on this, the second day of January 2024. It is a bright, sunny spring morning here at Site B. You know what's best about the beginning and the end of the year in our hobby? Lists! Lists! We can look at lists like best TTRPG, worst TTRPG, most anticipated TTRPG. And we've got our first most anticipated TTRPG list. This comes to us from our friends over at ENWorld. They did a thing where they asked people and people gave them lists and they tallied them all together. It's a pretty thorough list, though I doubt it's every single solitary game that's coming out in 2024. There's no way to predict. And of course, did I just say of course, then of course? Yeah, geez. Need more coffee. Kuso Coffee, my sponsor. Link down below. That's assuming any of these actually come out. Because if you remember last year's or the years before, there's a lot of games mentioned on the list that never saw the light of day. And some of those games are on this list. So we'll see. All right. This is in alphabetical order, not in what they think is going to be the winner. Okay, and you can vote by using the link down below, assuming everything on here actually is your list. So, starting from the top, 13th Age, 2nd edition. This was announced last year, or maybe even in 2022. To come out in 2023, didn't. 13th Age is the 4th edition retro clone that came out that was actually a better version of 4th edition. Had a really great idea for character advancement and their take on icons or divine beings. If you could take nothing else away from 13th Age, that was really cool. Adventurer Conqueror King System number 2, the current OSR old school darling. This has finished its Kickstarter, so hopefully it'll be out by the end of 2024. Amorbia, role-playing in the world under starlight. Assassin's Creed from CMON. This was announced. It's in the list of top 10 most anticipated role-playing games for 2024. From another source, I think it's too late for an Assassin's Creed-based role-playing game. I think, as with any IP-based role-playing game, it has to work on more than just a single-player linear design. So this one has to be under the assumption that either everybody is a Templar or an assassin. So you've got... And Assassin's Creed is kind of built always around that it's just one dude. So, I don't know. Break from Grey Wizards. Broken Weave from Crucible 7. I don't see that coming out. Crane, 2nd edition from Space Penguin. Co-host Cthulhu from Ophidius. Deathmatch Island from Old Dog Games. Daggerheart from Darrington Press. Is it still our most anticipated tabletop role-playing game of the year? No, it's not mine. I think unless they step up this month, yeah, that door is going to be hard to reopen. Diablo from Glass Cannon Unplugged. It's based upon Diablo 4, which has already disappointed a lot of people because I think if you're going to do a Diablo role-playing game, you base it on Diablo 2. And also, it's a little late. It's a little late to be doing a Diablo tabletop role-playing game. So, I don't know. Dullumwood. Eat the Reich, the Electric State role-playing game. All right, that's my most anticipated for no reason other than I love the art and I love the idea. I don't think it's going to be a world shaker or make millions of dollars. I think it's such an obscure niche of an idea for a role-playing game that I doubt it'll get the run. But the art is amazing. I've read through... Santa brought me the graphic novel. I've already read through it twice. There's a movie coming out. I'll watch it. I might be the only person who watches it. So, yeah, it's mine, but I doubt it's anybody else's. Final Fantasy tabletop role-playing game from Square Enix. Too late? His Majesty the Worm. Into the Motherlands from Green Ronin. Knave 2E from Ben Milton. That was kickstarted last year. Finally fulfilled. So we should be getting it now. DM Bloodworth already got his, so I'm expecting my copy in a couple days. Very interested in that one, but we'll see. Lords of the Middle Sea, Monty Python's curricular medieval reenactment program. This was announced for last year, didn't come out. I I don't really see any impetus behind it, especially since it doesn't look like anybody of the survivors had anything to do with it. Mystic Bastion Land from Chris McDowell. Mythic Ireland 2E. Pendragon 6th edition, announced in 2022 for 2023. Didn't come out in 2023. Now announced for 2024. Pioneer from Mongoose. Quest Worlds from Chaosium. Ronin from Slightly Reckless. Savage Hexen from Ulysses Spiel. The Secret World from Star Anvil. Shadow of the Weird Wizard from Schwab, announced last year, didn't come out last year. We're now expecting it to maybe come out this year. It is the more family-friendly, kid-centric take on Shadow of the Demon Lord, or whatever it's called. Shadow Scar from Artisolian. This is Artisolian's take on Rift / Feng Shui / dimension jumping. Not sure. Stone Top from Penny Lantern. Tales from the Valiant. That is, if we're looking at the game that's most likely going to steal the energy from 5e, it's that. So that's currently on my top of the list of most anticipated 5e retro clones. Taslanta, 6th edition. Is there still interested in Taslanta? Teeny Cyberpunk from Gallant Knight Games. Considering the average Gallant Knight Games book is 200 to 300 pages, I'm not sure they can use the word teeny. Triangle Agency. Well, that just got hit with a huge bit of controversy, so I don't think that is going to be anywhere. Urban Shadows 2 from Magpie Games. And Mothership. Maybe this is the year the Mothership will finally come out. I mean, the actual game, not the ash can. Notice nowhere on here is D&D 2024. Weird. What is their explanation for that? Because according to Morris's and ENWorld's logic, one, Wizards of the Coast isn't claiming it's a new game or even a game at all. So, two, it's like, I don't know. I mean, but if using that same logic, should anything that's like a 2nd edition, or a 6th edition be on the list? Wouldn't the most anticipated role-playing games being things that are new, not just things that are reversions of old things? I mean, 13 Age, 2nd edition. I could use the same argument for that I could use for D&D 5.6, whatever we're calling 2024. It's not a new game. It's just a new take on an existing game. And Wizards isn't saying, oh, this is a brand new game. They're just kind of saying, well, this is an errata, an update. It's different, but it's the same. So we're not saying it's a brand new game. So, I don't know why they wouldn't put it on the list. By that logic, the other logic would just be, well, we already know it's number 1, so we're just looking for the list of stuff that isn't Wizards. I don't know. And this doesn't look like that long of a list. And there's things that haven't been announced yet. That's always the trouble with lists like this, is today you could get the list and go, oh, yeah, I want that one. And then tomorrow, somebody could announce they're making a role-playing game, and you're like, well, that screws the list, because now that's my most anticipated tabletop role-playing game. I didn't know you were doing that. So here's my list for just personal. The game I'm most excited about is The Electric State, for no reason other than I love the art. I love the idea. It is such a niche within a niche within a niche that I seriously doubt anybody else will get into this, but I love it. I love the book. I love the idea. I love the art. So yeah, it's my personal most anticipated. Industry-wise, my most anticipated role-playing game for 5e is Tales from the Valiant. I think that's going to be the one that, if I'm fighting between Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remastered and Tales from the Valiant, I gotta give the I think Tales from the Valiant gets the bump depending upon when they release it. I've said this several times already, but I'll just toss it out again. If I'm Kobold Press and I'm looking at the calendar, and mind you, we still don't know what day Wizards has planned to put 2024 Player's Handbook out. We're thinking we'll see the digital in March, because let's face it, it's done. It's done. They might be saying they're still play testing it, but they're not. It's done, and it's probably been done for a while. So I'm guessing physical is May, June, digital is March. I could be completely wrong, but I'm just tossing out that sometime in March is when they'll announce that the digital is ready to be available. So if I'm Kobold, and I'm looking at the calendar, and Wizards of the Coast says March, I don't know, 15th, random day, just first number that popped in my head, is the day that the digital will be available on D&D Beyond to rent. Once I know that, I have to think, okay, do I, A, put my game that out before that in the hopes that I can distract that energy that's going down the pike towards D&D 2024 to my game? Because, you know, the thought pattern is you're running down that hallway and you see the exit and there's 10,000 other people running down that hallway reaching for the same exit. Then suddenly a door opens to the side and suddenly the crowd goes, well, that door's already open. Why should I wait for that door to open? And they pivot. And that's one thinking. The other thought is, of course, you release the game after D&D 2024 comes out, because you wait to see how well it does. And if it's doing really, really well, then you can just wait a little longer. You're like, well, no one's going to buy my game now. D&D 2024 is just too big. I'll wait until that peters off and the bad reviews start coming out. Or if you're just looking, you know, and again, if it's like that first week and the sales are just not living up to Wizards' expectations, again, you're like, okay, here's my perfect chance to jump on that corpse while the getting's still hot. So there's your two thought patterns. Do I release it before to try and redirect the energy towards me, or do I release it after? And then how long do I wait after? Do I release it right away? Do I wait a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year? You know, do I get just an unbelievable happenstance of good luck like Pathfinder did in 2014? I mean, not 2014, whenever 4E came out, you know, where just everything combines to provide that perfect storm where Pathfinder was just like, hey, look at us. And everybody was like, screw this 4th edition thing. These guys are right over here. And they look like they know what's going on. So, but yeah, that was a perfect storm. There's no way to predict that. There's no way to predict what's going to happen when or if Daggerheart comes out in 2024. I mean, right now it's feeling like that energy is lost. If you don't release something by the end of this month or start showing us a playtest or something, I think you're going to lose the energy. But the critters are unpredictable. They're an unpredictable factor. I can't factor for what the critters might or might not do, you know, for when Daggerheart is announced and how big that excitement about Daggerheart will be from the critters. The critters could go wild for it and totally screw up any anticipation for anything else. Or the critters could have reached the point where they're just like, I'm done. It's too late. I don't know. So I'm not including Daggerheart, just from a purely what I know 100% point of view. I put Tales from the Valiant out before D&D Digital. That took me a long time to reach that conclusion, but I wanted you to understand my logic. So that's my most anticipated 5e. For the rest, I don't know. Nothing really excites me. I kickstarted Knave because I love the idea from Knave. That should show up. If Kelsey announces something else, I'll probably back that. But for 2024, I backed Electric State. That's my most anticipated. I don't foresee anything else coming out that's really going to excite me. I was excited for Diablo until I realized it's way too late and they're basing it on the Diablo 4 storyline. And I'm like, just no, if you're going to release a Diablo game, you release it based upon the lore of the best of the 4. Diablo 2. That's the story most people associate with Diablo. That's the world I want to explore. And of course, I want to run into Deckard Cain because Deckard's the man. Anyways, if you want to check out this list and vote, I posted the link down below. Thank you, ENWorld, as always. That's probably the only news we have today, unless something drastic happens. Remember, tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary. Tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of the beginning of the January OGL disaster. So, balls in your court, Wizards. I'll talk to you later.